Dislyte, download now.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kashino. I wanted to just kind of touch on this, just a little bit, just a tad bit. The reason why I wanted to touch on this is purely because I feel like I'm starting to realize what Dislyte actually is, and I was like, was kind of getting it, but now I realize what it really is. This game is basically like Summoner's War. Now, I'm not the Gacha God or Gacha King, Mobile Messiah, but I played a few Gachas in my time. But the first one that I've actually played is the OG Summoner's War. And the reason why I'm on the screen is because I'm about to do the stage while I'm talking. But you know, they had a lot of other games have the same thing, right? You add friends, and actually no, not every gacha even has this. A couple of ones that I played, not every gacha allows you to use your friends' units and stuff like that. There's been things that, you know, one will have, they'll take this and they take this, but this one is the one that's so closely related to Summoner's War. I kind of wanted to bring that up, and not to say that this is a bad thing. Actually, no. I think that this is what Summoner's War should be. It's actually still, people still, I think, play Summoner's War still to this day. Let me just go off some of the comparisons. So one, I do like that this is actually one of the big differences. So you can actually use friends units on the dungeon stages. In Summoner's War, you can always use it on that. I do think that that's a little bit different. So yeah, you can use it here on the stages. I didn't even know you could do this. It's another reason why I'm doing this video. If you guys need to push content, you really should click this thing and then actually switch to your helper espers and then push content that way. So every day, I haven't done one yet, so every day you go through here and you do, this was 42. If you have a Thor, my man pushes content, okay? So I can't do this stage on my own, so I'm pushing this out. I want to show this real quick, just how strong this Thor is. Maybe I'll do a guide on him as well, because it's absolutely nuts on how strong this guy is and how he pretty much does literally, oh, there goes Berenice as a dungeon. And he just sits there, conductor mode, broken, ham sandwich. This guy, I don't know a stage in which he can't do. You guys let me know what stage this guy can't do, because it's absolutely nuts what he can do. Absolutely nuts. You can see the characters that are dying versus the character that is not. Oh, I like synergize with the music and everything. And then you would do next level, and you would keep doing this on a regular day basis. So if you guys are struggling I was going to turn this into like a guide, but I feel like 9 times out of 10 that guide or that piece of advice was given out. But if you guys check this video, then it's cool. But you would keep doing this until you get to the last stage, which I think is 10. You would do this until you get to the last stage, and then once you're on 10, you'll be able to see what units you need to build and how strong they need to be, because you'll have a glimpse of how strong they need to be, and then you can maybe do one clear with the unit that helped you get there by keeping that person on the friends list. And then they have the ripple dimension. Now, in Summoner's War, how you would get these things to trigger, this would happen the same way. Go in here, you get a limit. Oh yeah, I didn't even know I had a Freddy one too. Now the issue that I have here is that they actually did do the update that Summoner's War did. When Summoner's War first initiated the system, you could just farm it infinitely. You did it by doing... Okay, they have them talk all day. I don't know why they decided to have them idly talk a lot. It's insane. But what you would do is that you would be farming, like, imagine farming not runes, because in here is when you farm runes, right? But it would be actually like when you farm the Sonic Miracle. So you would be farming Infinus, and then you would get a dungeon based on that element, right? And it would have a certain amount that can pop up in there. So that's kind of how they did it. They also had a different system, which I do think that they should implement in this game. Again, I'm going to go by side-by-side comparison, is that they, in Summoners War, they had a weekend or a monthly 4-star dungeon. Right now, I know you guys are like, oh my god, the Dahlia, I think, dungeon, and like where everyone's trying to hurry up and click into it. They would normally just make that like a dungeon, and I think it was either every weekend, every other weekend, or monthly, and that's how you got into that dungeon. You were able to farm it, but they then changed it that you can only get one copy like a week or a weekend. The only reason why I could think is that they felt as though that it was allowing people that had a lot of stamina, excess ways to run the dungeon, they were utilizing on that day to literally farm several copies of the 4-star, not only to max it out, but also obviously to get fodder for 4-star. So they definitely did that. But here you can kind of get as many copies, but you have to get it from the chat. So it's like a good and a bad. You can technically farm as many copies as you want. I'm trying to like put my hand in a. You can farm as many copies as you want, but you have to get into the dungeon. So it's and you have to stalk a chat, which depending on what chat you're in, you might not even get, you might not even see it. So let's just for example, the one that I just saw, right? And I haven't seen a Dahlia pop up in here. So someone has to be farming. They go, yeah, Tang Young, nice. I actually like this character. Tang Young is the RNG master. You see, I'm just collecting them here. As long as I get into that one first thing, I'm good. And what's cool, what I also like about this, I think this is, slightly different from the other ones, is that it's only one stage. So they don't put the repeat function on here, which I think is weird, but it's only one stage, so you can actually do them pretty quickly. Get it done. AoE it down. Why did you not? Okay. I was say, why didn't you just use your S3? But and boom, and I think you get one. And then you can farm it up to 5 times. I think it's 6. You have to do 6 dungeons for a 3-star. And I think it's something similar because you can run a 4-star 8 times. This one you can only run 5. I'm not trying to quit. I think it's same thing. I think theirs is 5. This one's 6. I don't know why, but I just went to the bathroom and I actually now really do remember. So yeah, it was actually funny enough. It was a whole weekend that 4-star dungeon would pop up. It was a whole. I don't know if my hands were there when I said 4, but it was a whole like weekend. You had several days, you had the whole weekend to do it, and I think it was monthly. And then also sometimes they would do light and dark as well, so you would get like some of the rarer ones. I don't think that they have a dungeon for the moonlight or whatever characters. I don't even know what they're called. I think it's like chaos elementers. And again, this video is to say what they should be doing. That like they should take even more from Summoner's War. They're already taking it decent enough. And another one that I wanted to mention actually. You go to the war room. Fusion, not actually Relic Fusion. I don't know if that's unique to this game. Summoner's War. Now, Summoner's War, the biggest thing in that game, and how people are saying get Gabby, get Gabrielle, right? Because she's a great unit. They had the same thing in Summoner's War, where the whole thing was to make a Veramos. That was the first thing that you were supposed to do. But what I did like about Summoner's War, eventually, they didn't do this from the jump. They eventually put in a beginner's guide plan event thing. So when you first start up Summoner's War, pretty much what they would do, I'm using her as an example, right? So you have to make this character, which is this character, and then you have to make these 2 others, and then you have to ascend them to the loveliness of, 5 ascension, right? Which is a lot of farming of the other thing. And then here you would see that you have to get Bernice to, 5 ascension? It's kind of hard to see here. I think that's like 4. 4, and then get random other characters 4 to thing. So they did the same thing. Actually, in Summoner's War was a little bit harder because these characters were actually, they let me know I have a character I think that fits that build, but they actually made it harder because they were specific characters. You would see people be like, don't fodder that 3-star, that 3-star is part of a fusion, and it would be in like their reviews. Some of you Summoners War people will know what I'm talking about. So it was literally imperative for you to keep certain characters if you wanted to make the fusion, or else you were gonna have a nightmare. If you got it from a summon, you'd be like, oh sweet, that means I can skip this entire, like it wasn't as simple as this one. This one is way more simplistic, and it's better this way. They did it in a better way because it would be like 4 of these characters, right? So it would be what is this guy named? Fabrice? Fabrice, whatever his name is. So you would have this character. So if you got him from a pull, you would actually somewhat considered lucky. You'd be like, oh, I don't have to do this whole first phase. I could just skip this whole first phase and then go straight to this one. Now, they eventually started doing another thing, which was, I feel like the homunculus, which I actually really wish that they put into this game. One, it would allow them to make a custom god almost, because the homunculus was a character that you customize. You made him a certain element and a color. It also added more content because there was a certain dungeon that you had to farm to get it. So that would be pretty cool. But you could make a god essentially, or they can make a specific god that synergizes with that as well. As far as like a god that maybe is power is like random or something like that. So he's able to do multiple things. I think that they can actually take that system as well because. Back to what I was saying, that they're beginner guide, so pretty much they provided all those units to you. They've kind of provided the resources to you as long as you were following the beginner's steps. As long as you were kind of doing that, they kept providing you with it. So for example, and I'm not saying that they don't do it. I don't think I've seen them do it. Like, I'm not exactly sure, but like they would kind of give you a Bernice in the beginning. I think I summoned her. I don't think that they gave her to me specifically. Like everything that Dislyte that they did take from Summoners War, in my opinion, they do a lot better. But they also, there's other things that they could add in that they still haven't yet, like I've been mentioning. Let's talk about it. Even in PvP, I probably find it. Let me click around. Even in PvP, this is actually something that I think originated from Summoners War as well. Now, this guy, I actually lost him because of his thing is on lifesteal and he's level 60, and if he didn't freeze, I kind of just lose. But this was a whole thing in Summoners War as well, where you pretty much put up a doo-doo defense and to keep your thing balanced, so you don't get too high. You lose points because people can easily attack you. It also helps people in the lower end because it allows them to win and gain more points and stuff like that. So it was actually like a double, not even a double-edged sword. It kind of helps you in both ways, because this guy is level 46. There's no way that he's in tier 3. He's probably in a higher tier, but he kind of doesn't go too high up. Wherever he's at, he doesn't go too high up, but he kind of stays in a good level where he wants to be. I feel like that's why they're doing that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's why you did it in Summoners War. That people can beat you, and then you can also be in a realm where people did it. If everyone did this, by the way, it would actually be beneficial, because you always have wins and win streaks, and you'll never have to worry about losing until you get to a point where people are just being pure competitive. This is a person that's not trying to be really competitive. And when they add in guild wars, it can be the same thing. It's gonna be like people setting up fake defenses so they don't get too high up, where they're going against sweaty people, like the actual tryhards, the people that are literally doing that. They're going against people that are just trying to farm the currency to advance their accounts. And that's the cool thing about games like this, when they do let you do that, is because they're allowing you to pretty much play your way. You don't have to sit there and race to up. And I didn't know until I watched Clint and Zoxashun that a lot of people hate PvP. I don't hate PvP, I just don't feel like doing it all the time. I think it should always be in a game, especially a game when you're building units. You should always have the way, like RTA or ways to fight against friends, that they should always have that option so you could do that. But I definitely think PvP is definitely necessary in a game where you're building up units, and then it's like, unless they plan to pump out consistent PvE content, which I feel like it's harder to do, why pump out PvE when you can just make people fight other people? Here, fight other people. Yeah, go ahead, do it. We don't have anything right now, so just fight your friend. Make content fighting your friends, or just fight your friends if you're not a content creator. But that's really it. I think everything else is the story is from Summoners War. No, I'm just saying. I think that it's the most closest gacha that I've played in recent years that it resembles, and I really wish that they would take more stuff from it. And Summoners War has been struggling pretty much to become more modernized. Like they don't have banners. They just drop new characters in their game, but they're still kind of greedy. They don't want to completely conform to new gacha, modern gacha, banners, limits, pity summons and stuff like that. Not just a banner, but also pity, stuff like that. I don't know how this game's gonna do it. I was watching Zox's video. Apparently Ollie's coming soon, so I'm curious of what kind of banners that they'll do. Are they gonna do pity banners? They already have a pity system in their summon system, so I hope they don't go on Summoners War. I think that's one of the reasons why people don't do that, because I think like I said, if a game doesn't have a pity system, I find that it's usually standoffish for me. I'm just not gonna like it. Oh, I can see my little things here. Fantastic. Yeah, I only got one Dahlia dungeon. I only got one. But that's really it for me. I wanted to do that video real quick just to show you guys like exactly how similar it is to Summoners War, and how that's actually a good thing. And even eventually Summoners War got, I think it has Street Fighter. I feel like that's the only collab that it has. Collab is a more modern gacha thing, like getting animes. But this game would be phenomenal. I would love to see them either, I guess they could either straight up plant character in, or they can actually do like hip hopify, urbanify, whatever you want to call it, a character. Imagine them put in, let's say, Slime, because Slime has been in like every gacha recently, but they don't just put in Rimuru. They put in a urban remix version of him, and same thing with the other characters that I can't think of right now. I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be really cool. Let me know in the comment section below. First of all, if you guys like the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And would you guys like to see them actually do that for their collabs? Actually make them look a little bit different, or give them, even obviously they could just basically just change the outfit of them. They don't have to like make them look crazy different, but it'd be cool if they did that too, so you have a unique version of that character. Anywho, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.